Ole Hickory pits. When most people think of Ole Hickory pits, they think of restaurants throughout the world that uses them, the big commercial pits, or you think of competition guys that use them at all these competitions. They're everywhere. They have been for going on 50 years, something like 49 years. Now, in addition to the restaurants and the competition teams that use all these, they're also used by caterers. They're used at grocery stores with delis. They're used at convenience stores that sells barbecue sandwiches, gas stations, all over the place. But what a lot of people don't know, and maybe you do, but they also have a couple of residential models, and I have one right in front of me. It's the Ole Hickory Ultra Q, and I'm gonna do a complete walk around, and we're gonna see what this thing is all about. But before I do, I wanna thank Gary Tingler for the new Virginia plate. Love that plate. It says fish hard. I'm all about that.
And as a die-hard fisherman, and believe me, I am a die-hard fisherman, I freaking love it. Thanks.
So here it is. This is the Ole Hickory Ultra Q. It's all stainless steel on the outside. And if you look inside here, you'll see right up here, all this is fully insulated. Every bit of it. Now, we did run this pit earlier, and we didn't run it long, maybe 15, 20 minutes, and it was just barely warm here, even though it's got warnings that this can get hot, and it might over time. But it's got some rubber stoppers right here that will prevent this from going back any further. This is a 3-grate pit, as you can see here. Now, its bigger brother, the CTO, this part lets down, and it actually has a 4th grate. And this is a little bit smaller. It's not much. It's like an inch narrower this way, and I think the CTO is a little bit taller. But let's talk about this pit. So we're going to close this back down. This is a thermometer that's built into it. This is a thermostat control, and I'm going to try to explain to you the best I can just how this thing works. It's gas fired, but back here, this is your firebox. Right here. Now you can throw your wood chunks in there. We did run it a little bit today, and you can see the char on that log. But you don't have to burn gas if you don't want to. You can use charcoal wood combination like so many pits. Matter of fact, most competitions do not allow gas, so you have to disconnect your gas altogether and use charcoal and wood combination. I'll be using the gas along with just one stick of wood. This piece of wood right here will literally last for 6 hours, one piece. It is so sweet how this thing works. The gas brings this thing up to heat like in 2 minutes, very fast, and it's blowing flames up against this firebox, which is igniting the wood log in there, which is generating the smoke. And as the wood's burning, it itself is generating heat, which will cut the supply of gas off. And the only time the gas comes back on is as the temperature falls. It'll reignite just to kind of rekindle that wood that's in here. And it's a very light blue smoke right out of the gate. You don't have to wait on the heat to come up and the smoke to clear out like you do on so many other pits like an offset. Nice heavy door. And look at the gasket on this. You can tell that's all commercial grade right there, heavy duty. Below these grates is a V shape, and any grease that gets trapped in there is going to come out and go to this valve, and then you just let your grease pour out, then you close it. You always run it in a closed position. But this is also a gas switch. Your gas valve won't work until that's turned on. I think that's another thing that competitions want to see. If you do have a tank installed on this, which a lot of people do just for startup, they want to make sure when they walk up it's turned off. This valve, the other valve, and most people just disconnect the tank to where there's no danger of being called out of using gas. Now when you are ready to add a new log, that's going to be hot. It's going to be real hot. So you would take this and just pull this out where you don't burn yourself up, replace the log. Now this particular pit came with 6-inch casters. Now on their website I have seen smaller casters, not these 6-inch ones, and I don't know if that's an option or if that's something they've now went to. I couldn't see where it was an option on our website, but maybe I wasn't looking in the right place, so don't hold me to that. Now this pit also has a high limit switch, kind of like your furnace does if you have electric or gas furnace. In the event this thing exceeded 350 degrees, it's going to kick that high limit switch out, which is going to kill everything. It's going to kill your gas valve, your fans, everything. And just to reset it, you just press that in. Now this is your exhaust or your flue. There's another one just like it on the other side. And the thing about these is they go all the way to the bottom where this grease pan is, which means the smoke has to go all the way down before it comes out. And what that means is you're not going to have more smoke on the top rack and less smoke on the bottom. It's all going to be the same. And if you see over here on the right hand side and there's one on the left, you see an opening. That's how far the smoke's got to come down before it can go up through that flue. There's another one right there. Yeah, you can see the V in here. There's where all your grease accumulates if you don't put a pan on one of these lower racks. And the hole is right here. All your grease will run through there and then out the valve, as I was telling you earlier. Okay, so we're going to slide this back in. Wait a minute, let me leave this out for a minute. Look how long this is. 26.5 inches long, 20.5 inches wide. That's a long grate. I mean, it goes on back there. It's actually 38 inches from the front all the way to the back. All right, now you do have a knob here to raise and lower your lid here. And here's the best part in my opinion. Proudly made in the USA, Ole Hickory Pits, Cape Girardeau, Missouri. And the cool thing, the part I love most about this is these parts that's inside of here. By the way, this is where you access all your parts, your gas, valves, your controllers, everything. Every bit of that can be bought at appliance stores all across this country. All across this country. You don't have to call China when something goes out. For the record, before they ship these out, they run them and test them for 3 full hours to make sure everything's functioning right, everything's dialed in correctly, and everything's good to go when you get it. So that means you don't have to burn this pit in. You don't have to season this pit. You just hook it up, you're ready to cook. And I had planned on cooking actually today, but it's gotten late, so we're going to do that next week. Stay tuned for the very first cook coming up next week. And for the record, this is UL listed as well as NSF approved, which makes it such a good candidate for restaurants and things like that where they have health inspections. And I'm telling you what, I'm just loving this. For a backyard pit or patio, this is perfect. The same great quality as the bigger pits, but at the convenience of your home. You ain't got to go anywhere. And you can use this in competition as well. If you want to put it on a trailer, take it to a comp, have at it. Also, when you raise this lid up, you have a switch right here. When you raise it, it lets out on that switch, which disables everything. It cuts the fans off to where you don't get a blast of smoke in your face. It kills the fire, it kills everything as soon as you open that up. Now something else, this particular residential model does not have a convection fan. It does have a fan that kicks on and off to maintain the temperature on the fire itself. But the bigger pits have convection fans that keep all that air circulating. It's not needed on this. The design, that mailbox design, has a lot to do with that. The heat comes up the back, over the top, and back down, and creates its own convection naturally. If you go to the website, they got all the specs on here, anything I didn't cover, the dimensions and such as that. I do know that the width of this is 29 inches to the outside of this valve here. Now they used to put the gas valve over here on this side, now it's on the opposite side. So if you're going through a door, you're gonna probably need at least 32, 33 inches of clearance to get this in with no problem. We actually come through a 30-inch opening and had no problems today. We had to kind of turn it, get the valve to clear, and then roll it on out. It was no big deal whatsoever. I cannot stress enough how proud I am to have this pit. I have been wanting an Ole Hickory for a very long time because I know the good food that they produce and put out. All these restaurants all across the country, really across the world, would not be using them if they didn't put out good product, and buddy, they do. They're built to last. They're designed to run every day in a working environment, every day. And like I said earlier, the parts in this is built the same, or they are the same parts. Same parts they have in the big ones, minus the convection fan, because this one don't need it. Well, I think I covered all the highlights on this pit, and as I learn more about it, you'll be there with me on future videos, and there's going to be a lot of videos using this pit, guaranteed. Quickly, I want to give thanks to another channel sponsor. I'm talking about ThermoPro. Every week I mention ThermoPro. They are one of my channel sponsors. And if you're in the market for a good instant read thermometer, wireless thermometer, then check out the link in the description box for exclusive discounts. And right now they're running 20% off on the ThermoPro Lightning. That's a really good thermometer, lightning fast. It's not called that for no reason. That's a 1 second or under instant read. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. I'm Russ Jones with Smoky Ribs Barbecue. Well, hang on a minute. Derek wants to say something.
I do got something real quick to say, because we're living in a modern days and age where everything's Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, whatever kind of junk that can go wrong. They kept it basic, and basic is good in barbecue. I promise you.
And they haven't been in business for 50 years for no reason.
You got that right.
Cheers, everybody.